we go. All right. In this episode, we are joined by Jessica Garner, class of 2016. Good to see you. All right. So, Jessica, why'd you pick to come to early college?
I chose to come to early college because I wanted a challenge and I wanted to be able to get my associate's degree when I graduated high school. So that was the main interest when I was in eighth grade, why I went that route, and I'm very glad that I did.
We're very glad that you did too.
Mhm.
So, you take that acceptance letter, you get in, you come to Bridge Week, you meet all of these strange people from all over Horry County. You get into freshman year, it's more of these strange people from all over Horry County. How do you go about, or what do you think is the best way to go about making friends? Because our dynamic's just different with people from all over the place.
I think just being open, Bridge Week is a great experience too. So that way, your first day of school, you are familiar with people, like you at least know their faces. And just being I don't know, just talking to people, being open, your advisory. I'm guessing you'll still have advisories. That's a great way to meet friends. And then your classes, of course. It's pretty cool though, because you're with a bunch of students from different schools, so you get different perspectives on things, which I wouldn't have gotten if I would have went to my normal high school, I guess. So it was just opening up, and if you do know people too, that can help, like if they're coming like from your middle school, but just know that you're going to meet new people through advisory in your classes and all the experiences and clubs that y'all will have. It's a great way to keep opening up and meeting new people.
Love it. You keep bringing up advisory. And I actually met you for the first time in your Bridge Week advisory. Who was your advisor?
I had Miss McCoy,
Boy with
and
a C.
yep, Miss McCoy. And we still we're on Facebook together. We still keep out. She checks in every now and then. And still some people in my advisory too. I've am still friends with them outside now to this day. Like when I don't live there anymore, but when I come to visit, I'll go visit the ones that I've kept in touch with.
Great stuff. All right. So Miss McCoy, both Miss McCoys had very unique advisories and very engaged in advisories. Do you remember any special things about Miss McCoy's advisory that you just absolutely loved? Made it kind of fun to come to advisory.
I loved how I felt like our advisory was close. Like we might not have all hung out with each other like outside of school, but when we were in advisory and in classes, like we just had this, I don't know how to explain it. We just had a relationship with each other. We knew that we were like in advisory, we might not have been the best of friends with everyone, but we were, I don't know, we just had that bond. It just bonded us. And I think she did a really good job with that and making us feel like a family and helping us to. I know we did a lot of community service things too. I was actually looking through pictures the other day and we packed bags of like tissues and toothbrushes and things like that. And we did meals. I remember we were in the cafeteria and we were doing like, I think it was our last before we were away from the advisory. So we were all eating food together. And I just remember those moments of how she really made us feel like family. And that's something that I remember.
Truly a great advisor, great
Mhm.
Avid teacher too.
Yes.
Uh, and I came across that picture the other day too as I was preparing,
Yeah.
which is a great one. And other advisories actually do that now too around Thanksgiving, which is
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome.
Um, all right, so advisory, big part for you. Academically, you're excelling, you're doing really well. Uh, you start to get up into junior and senior years. College classes are increasing. What role does AVID play uh, in helping you navigate those challenges?
It was really helpful with just giving me time to ask questions and get really just my life together. I felt like when it comes to the schools doing, I don't know if y'all still do the Cornell notes and things like that. I know I remember the 7 healthy habits. I don't remember what year I was in when we did that. I feel like that helped get me prepared. But I just remember Avid was very helpful having the Avid teacher there and helping us, especially when it came to colleges and things like that, preparing for scholarships. I feel like I wouldn't have known as many scholarships were open if I wouldn't have had Avid. Like And I think that was Miss Johns. I had Miss Johns. That might have been my senior or junior year. I don't remember which one, but I remember all the scholarships. She showed us how to get to them and apply for them. And I wouldn't have even known about teaching fellows, honestly, if I wouldn't have been at early college. And a lot of my friends that didn't go to early college didn't know about it. So it really helped me prepare for life after high school or college.
All right, so you get to senior year. Miss Jones is helping the scholarship stuff. Find out about teaching fellows. So, what did you want to be? Teacher?
So all I knew at that point was I wanted to help people. I couldn't figure out. I did education because I knew that I would help people regardless in education. So I do remember being torn and not really, but I went with education because I started with special ed actually. And so, and I was, once I decided that I was, 100% there, I knew I could help them in the school setting with special education. Yeah, so I knew at that point I took the teaching, I think it was senior year, the teacher class at Tech. I can't remember the name of it,
Mhm.
but that helped to kind of give me an insight on what it was going to be like in that
All
sense.
right, so you get that, you get teaching fellows. Where'd you go to college?
For undergrad, I went to Coastal.
Okay, so
Yeah.
easy transition there, going from tech to coastal. Were you still living at home or in the dorms?
My first year, I lived in the dorms, and then so I was only there for 3 years. And my second year, I lived in an apartment, and then my last year, I lived at home because my internship was like across the street from where my parents were.
Makes sense. So you do get a little bit of getting away from home, whether it be just across the county or whatever. But you do get some independence with that and meet some new people. That's one of the best things living on campus.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, so you graduate there from Coastal, then what?
Then I applied to Clemson's school counseling program. I did get waitlisted though, so when I moved here, I did the Shining Stars event. So I was gonna teach, but and then just apply again. But I ended up getting accepted, so I went straight into that. I long-term subbed in a first grade class during my grad program, and then once that ended, I got an assistantship at Clemson, which paid for my graduate. So that's why I stopped the long-term subbing, and because it was a good opportunity. They paid for it, so.
Can't beat that. All right, so far I've done a lot of interviews with people who went to Coastal and College of Charleston. College of Charleston's like blown it out of the water in terms of being like, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Uh, Clemson, you may be the first. What did you love so much about Clemson?
So I feel like my experience was maybe different because my classes were not on Clemson's campus. They did it would have been on Clemson, but then COVID happened. So I never got classes on Clemson's campus because I was in Greenville for my first year, and then COVID happened, and then we were all virtual. So, but when I went to Clemson for my assistantship. So I mean, I don't know, I just love it up here. I love the nature part of it, and you can see that on campus. Um, so I don't know everything about Clemson's campus, but just from what I've seen. I mean, it's hard. The hills are hard to walk up and stuff like that. I didn't realize that compared to Coastal with everything being flat. But from what I saw of it, I just love the nature part of it. It's a beautiful campus.
Clemson is a beautiful campus for sure. And oh, COVID, how COVID messed so many things up.
Yes.
But you adjust and you do whatever's required of you and you get through, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
All right, so you finished up with the Clemson program. Then what?
Then I'm at Plain Elementary, so I'm a school counselor here. I actually interned here, and I was hired during my internship to be the long-term sub because COVID happened and her halftime didn't come back because she didn't feel comfortable. So once I graduated, I just kind of moved into the position. I was part-time at Plain and part-time at Bryson to make, they do that sometimes here if they don't have the allocations for a full-time. So I did that my first year. I worked at two different schools. And then my second year, they got the allocation for a full-time. So I am at Plain full-time since then.
How many years in are you?
This is my fourth year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it what you thought it would be?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have this like image
Hard
in your
question.
head in like school, and you're like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what it's going to be like. And it is different from that. But I get to teach them. I get to do groups with them. I get to do individual counseling. So I get to do the things that I thought I was going to do. I mean, of course, there's extra things like I do 504s and you have on-track meetings and things like that. But overall, I'm getting to do what I thought, like in grad school, that I was going to do.
Good deal. Last two questions. I'm going to ask you both of them. You can choose whatever order you want to answer them in.
Okay.
In about a week, eighth graders are going to receive their acceptance letters to early college. They're the class of 2029, not to make you feel older or
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, class of 2029. What advice do you give that eighth grader who's on the fence? They're not sure about it. They're not sure about leaving their friends. They're not sure about missing out on stuff at their base schools. What advice do you give them? Question number two, our seniors in about 6 weeks will be finished. Yeah, they finish in April this year, which is crazy. But what advice do you give them? Maybe for the person who's going straight to the workforce, or that person who's continuing at a 4 year, or joining the military, or maybe even that kid who doesn't know what they want to do. What advice do you give them?
So I'm going to start with the first one. My advice to the eighth graders that are on the fence, I was there. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I will, honestly, my freshman year, I almost went back to my base school because it was a lot with the friends. Like I missed the friends that I had had since elementary school, and not all of them came with me. Um, but it's a wonderful experience, and I still was able to see those friends that were at my base school. And if anything, just give it a try. Like just try it, like go into it, and it it changed my mind. Like I was set, I'm fine, and I don't look back. And I'm so glad that I didn't go back to my base school. Um, I know it's hard though. It's hard like in the moment because you got all those feelings and you're trying to figure out, especially as a teenager, like friends are most important at that time and just trying to and starting something new and it's scary. But I always say it's worth a try. And then as you go, just work through it. Have people that you can talk to about it too, like adults, trusted adults that you can talk to and help you. Don't hold it in, like talk about it. So that way,
The counseling advice.
yeah, I know. That's what I sound like. I'm sorry.
All
Um,
good.
it's ingrained in me. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just know that every new experience is scary. So just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean it's the wrong choice. Like sometimes we have to be pushed out of our comfort zone in order to get, the rewards that come from it.
That's how we grow.
Yes. And then for seniors. So I would say for them, they kind of like go together, honestly. Just give yourself grace. Like you're going into something new and you don't have to have it all figured out. Like it's good to have an idea, but as you go through college or the military, or I know if they're doing a program right now that's through tech, like just do what like you want to do, like chase what you want to do and look at everything together. Like if the money is super important and you need like look at everything, like research it, try to figure out like what you're gonna do, and then ask questions. Like please ask questions because that's what's gonna like help you learn too. But know that again, like if you fail, it's okay. Like we all fail at something, and that's how you grow, and that's how it's not a bad thing to change. I changed my major 3 times my freshman year to finally get where I needed to be. So, and I'm fine. Like it worked out. I got where I needed to be and just trust the process and it's going to be okay.
Great advice. Trust the process. All right, so that's Jessica Garner. Jessica, if you'll hang out on the call just a moment afterward, I want to
Yeah.
still talk to you, just not recorded.
Yeah.
Uh, but great as always, class of 2016, Jessica Garner.
Thank you.
Thank you.